आपने कभी मौत के बारे में सोचा है? Fear I've had is how will I die? कैसे होगा मेरे साथ? Will whatever I have right now is just going to end. Everything is temporary, nothing is permanent, and that this is my time. I am going bye bye. Will start behaving funnily. I don't want Sadhguru to come in my dream and be like, "This is not what I said, girl." Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I would rather say sorry. Welcome to my side of the world. My name is Anaida, and whoever has clicked on this video, I hope you are doing well. All is okay. सब ठीक है. As a part of my 30-day soft challenge that I've been taking, I am making a series of videos when I'm taking you through my experiences when it comes to food, the challenges, the exercises, the rewards I gifted myself. And today I'm going to share about the book I read. So if you want to know a little bit more in detail, check out the other videos that are out on my channel. And with that, today, let's continue for this one. Part of my 30 days soft challenge, one of the things that I also had to do was read 10 pages of a book every day. Now, I didn't pick any new book for this one. I was already reading a book which is Death by Sadhguru, and I was just being a little inconsistent with the book. Okay, I think it had gone on for a month, and then I realized I really need to speed up my process and finish the book. So when it came as a part of the challenge, I felt like, okay, that is going to make it a little more productive, and I will be able to finish it, right? And I really did. Like, just I had to read 10 pages every day, and I did manage to finish the book in another 30 days. But it is a heavy book, not heavy as it will make you feel heavy. It's just like there's a lot of information. Understanding all that can take a bit of time. It will take some time to process, and that is what makes it feel a little heavy. Parts made me emotional, some parts were very light, some parts were just like very real, something we already know. You know, it broke my belief about something, it shifted my perception about something, it made my conviction stronger regarding some thoughts that I already had, and that's why I'm making this video, is just to share my takeaways. I'm not going to say that this book is saying that. I am just going to say that this was insightful because I already had some conception and this book said this, so my takeaway is this, which I don't want Sadhguru to come in my dream and be like, "This is not what I said, girl." But okay, anyway, like this video is where I've put some work. You know, I have sat down for the couple of 2 days. I have made notes. I went through the book, not the entire book again, but I went through the pages, the areas I wanted to cover. I highlighted the parts. I wrote a script. I tried to make it as short as possible and make it a little interesting and engaging. So I hope it come across. This is going to be a little bit of a verbose gyan wala session. So, but I can definitely say that if this video has found you, you're meant to listen to this, and please do, because this is going to be very eye-opening, if I may say, for you. So with that, let's get into it. And guys, I totally understand that this topic can be heavy. It can trigger some emotions, and it is sensitive. Everyone has a different perception, right? So I'm not going to push you to see the complete video. My curiosity just comes from a very simple place. I just feel like I want to improve the quality of my life as much as possible. I want to get deep into understanding how to handle my emotions better, my reactions better. How do I respond to life in a very conscious way? And through that, I know that I will be able to create the life that I want, and this can only happen if I understand life and the cycle and the things that comes with life, which is also death. Probably why I feel like the kind of guests Ranbir Alabadia brings on his podcast and the kind of question he poses कि आपने कभी मौत के बारे में सोचा है? I am also kind of like that, but I'm not going to put it like that. I'm just here to share my thoughts, my insights, because I feel they have made my life simpler and has taken away a lot of my fear to when it comes to thinking of losing my people or losing close ones, and that is why I'm sharing this. Okay, so let's keep it light. From what I have understood through this book is that it's not a sudden switch off or like we conk off in a second the moment we die. It's a process of life energy leaving the body. It happens in stages. The body dies, but the existence, whether you call it energy or you call it the soul or you call it something else, that continues. It's just not something we consciously experience on a daily basis, which is why we perceive it as the end of life. Like there is absolutely nothing after this, right? And I think that is the reason why people fear that whatever I have right now is just going to end if I die. But from what I've understood, physical form ends, but you keep experiencing the existence in some other dimension. Okay, let's not go deep into that. Now, what were my fears when it comes to dying? For me personally, I have never been scared of dying as such. The fear I've had is, how will I die? कैसे होगा मेरे साथ? Will it be sudden? Will I pass away peacefully? Will I have a lot of health problems because of which it will be a slow death? Will I drown? Will I get burned? I don't know. Chances are that death could be painful, right? And the thought of what kind of pain will I have before giving up on a beautiful life that I've lived is something I think about, and I just want to be prepared that when that moment comes, I want to go away gracefully. And that is why it's not a fear, it's just, why do I think about how will I die? Because I want to be prepared that no matter what happens, I want to pass away gracefully, and I'll accept it that this is my time, I am going bye bye. The second fear is that how will I be when I lose the people that I love? I think we all have that fear. Like, because of this thinking, this fear, I've actually questioned my relationships with these people a lot. Like, what role do these people that I love play in my life? Okay, is it just emotional, or are they fulfilling something I cannot handle on my own? Is it purely transactional? Is it mix of both? Because if they are fulfilling something transactional, something tangible, rather than, of course, a sense of community, the love, the emotions, then losing them will just mean something else. It will destabilize me. It will make me helpless. I will be dependent on some other people I don't even know. I have somewhat consciously tried to become more self-reliant, more independent, to when it comes to survival and managing things on my own in my life. People I say that I love, I want to love them for who they are, and not because they are fulfilling my life in some monetary way or in some physical way. Okay, of course, all of that is also there, but it's not that when they pass away, I will just be disabled because they are not there anymore. um yeah, deep, isn't it? Also made notes on my laptop because there is so much to talk about. I have no idea how will I cover all the important points, and I don't want to ramble on. All right. Why do we fear our death? Is, again, from what I realized after reading this book, is simple. We just don't want to let it go. We feel like we have worked so hard to put up something. It could be a business. It could be the amount of energy you've put in your job, to build yourself, to grow yourself, to learn, unlearn. Everyone wants to build, 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 but no one wants to lose it. Same comes with death, right? That everything that you have built up, one day if God or someone comes and tells you, okay, it's time to leave all of this and go, mind is not going to accept it, and of course it is going to resist. And I feel that is the reason that people kind of fear the death of their own body. There is no way of sugarcoating this way, but grief is a very painful, heavy, and honestly a feeling that none of us would want to choose if we had the choice. No, grief is not really about death itself, it's about the space someone occupied in your life. When they are gone, that space feels empty, and you don't quite know what to do with it, you don't know how to function without it, or you might have to do something to fill in that space again. So that transition and that process that you go through is basically the grieving process. Part of life, you don't have to crack how to grieve better at all. I don't know if it's a good thing. I don't have a very big family and very, very select people. I just, my grandparents, my parents, and pets. They are the only, they are only my universe. And I have lost two of my grandparents. I was close to them, but I was a kid when it happened, so maybe I didn't get to grieve like an adult. I think the closest grieving experience I've had is when I lost my first pet, and I was always prepared that I am going to lose him some or the other time. But when that happened, I was in the UK. I was doing my masters, so I think because of the distance and the fact that I could not see the pain he went through, it was immense. And if I were there, and at that time if I'd lost my dog, I still can't process how I would have managed it. But the fact that I was away, there was a huge distance between what was happening at home and where I was at. I think it kind of, maybe I could say it was a blessing that I really didn't have to grieve as bad as I thought I would. I was very sad. I kept crying about losing my dog and the fact that I could not see him for the last time. Um, yeah, I mean, see, this is grief. I still think about it and it hurts me. But okay, I mean, I accepted it that it is going to happen and it's a part of life. I have beautiful memories with him, and because of my pet, I feel my fondness for animals also grew as I got older. So yeah, now what helped me understand this better was realizing that feeling sad, crying, missing someone, it's all a part of being human. So you cannot really fix it, or you cannot really crack a code of how can I do it better. But moving through it gracefully is just about acceptance, accepting that people will come, people be a part of you, and one day they will go. Okay, and if you accept that fact, it is never going to come as a shock that, or it could be vice versa, you could also go and they could be experiencing it, right? So I think the only thing one should know is acceptance that this thing can happen. Be prepared and cherish the people and the pets and plants and whatever you love. Cherish those experiences, and when they go, you let it go peacefully and you keep the fond memories with you. The only ways death has ever been made to feel comforting is when we are told that don't worry, you'll go to heaven after this, so chill, don't worry, right? आप कहाँ पे जा रहे हैं? Let's talk about that. Before that, I am going to read this section from the book that kind of made me laugh. I don't know if it's going to make me laugh again, but that time when I was reading, it did make me laugh. Right now, some people want you to believe that the moment you die, you go to heaven and there will be a big party organized there with all your relatives and friends are waiting for you and you will have a great time. There's great food, there are some fairies there, full of clouds. Uh, I mean, I think that is what we kind of believe in, right? Sadhguru makes me laugh. Never believe that there is another physical place you go to after you die. From what I've realized after experiencing my life, and also of course hearing a lot of videos from Sadhguru, reading the book, is that heaven and hell are not locations you go to, they are just states you experience. And whatever your experience in your real life, that itself becomes heaven and hell, and you carry that feeling, not feeling, you carry that experience when you pass on. So it's all about the quality of your inner state that defines that. So if you are in a pleasant state, that is your heaven. If you are in an unpleasant state, that is your hell. So instead of focusing on where will I go after that, it becomes more about what am I creating within myself right now. Are you working towards making your life feel like heaven? If you don't know how to be peaceful and pleasant here, you won't suddenly become that somewhere else, right? So for me, this didn't completely change my thinking, but it refined it. It made me realize that heaven and hell are not somewhere far away. They are somewhere we are constantly creating within ourselves. Heaven and hell exist right here on earth. Kind of experiences, if you go travel, the kind of people you meet, the kind of breakthroughs you have when you get a promotion, when you start earning your money, when you buy something you really want, when you go to newer countries, when you find the love of your life, when you experience your first kiss, and all of that, isn't it all heaven itself? And the opposite, like the world is going through such a bad time. Also, there are wars happening, leaders are taking decisions that are just so questionable, organizations are firing people, people are deprived of education, basic amenities, they are struggling to survive, global warming is happening, fast fashion is just ruining everything, and that is hell. And so all of these experiences are happening right here on earth. So heaven and hell are right here. Depending on your tendencies, your patterns, what you are doing, you are yourself creating that heaven and hell as an experience for yourself. And when you are close to your death, I believe you are going to take that same inner state and feeling with you, and that is going to define if you are going to heaven or hell after you die as well. Oh, क्या बोल दिया मैंने? Okay, now we are going to talk about something that everyone wants to talk about, and something that everyone feels that they have totally cracked it and is overused and abused, which is karma. And I'm not saying what I'm going to say is correct, but I definitely know karma is not a reward and punishment system. And I think most of us have grown up hearing that you do good, good will happen, do bad, bad will happen. I'm not saying that this is totally incorrect, but we have to go deeper into it. Now, karma basically are the impressions that you create within yourself. Every action, every thought, every word, every emotion that you put regularly on a daily basis, consistently, like moment to moment, and when you keep repeating these imprints become patterns. Then you keep repeating these patterns, they become tendencies, and over time these tendencies define how you respond to life, and that becomes a way of life, and whatever is coming back to you is coming back to you as a sense of those patterns and tendencies. And that is what I believe is karma. It's just the cycle that is going around. Let's take something very simple as how I am when I am alone. Okay, so whenever say I am on my own, I'm by myself, I tend to fill in that space by doing some activity. Either I'll go work out, I'll pick up my phone, talk to someone, I'll pick up a book, I'll go to a cafe, I'll go to a place which has a little more hustle around. So now my choices are that I don't like silence, so I am going to create something that will make me comfortable and fill in that space. Now, if I keep choosing these kind of actions, these are small actions, right? But if I keep choosing this consistently, this is going to become a pattern. And after a point, I am not even going to choose it consciously anymore. It is going to become my default, and I will start believing that I don't like silence. I don't like to be without anyone, or I don't like to be alone. Now, even though this has become a default, it is actually something that I've built over time. So I experience life in a certain way. So while someone else might like silence and is totally comfortable on their own, I, on the other hand, might feel uncomfortable. Now, if I carry this pattern strong enough, it might not just stay in this life, it might also go into my other life, where say I am a much more balanced and calmer person and I like my time on my own. But there are just some moments, maybe say at night, where I tend to get anxious when I'm alone, and I would question like, why is this even happening? Because based on what I know of myself in this life, it is something that is so unrelatable, that why is only at this time that I am not comfortable being alone. So this simply could be that my old pattern is playing out now, and the same thing could be a pattern could be playing out in your life also, but it's just that our memory is not strong enough to really know that. But that is how karma plays out. So it's not good or bad, it's what you keep creating within yourself and how that shapes your experience. And until you become aware of it and change it, that pattern is just going to keep going on. So yes, that is why it is believed that karma can be changed and dissolved. You just have to become more conscious about yourself and try actively to change your patterns and dissolve it. What are your thoughts? I know karma has a lot of definitions in everyone's mind. If you have some interesting perspective, please do share it in the comment. I would love to know. Something I had never thought about before. The idea of what to do with someone's belonging after they pass away. So I always felt that if I lose someone who's close to me, we have this thought, right, that we'll keep their clothes with us, or things they wore, or things they loved. We'll keep it with ourselves because that will always make us feel that they are still around. But when I read this section, it just flipped that idea. It says that once a person leaves their body, everything that made them, their mind, their intellect, their emotions, their personality is gone. And what remains after they leave are just objects and not the person. So, holding on to their belongings, thinking you're holding on to them, can actually create more confusion than comfort. It can keep you stuck instead of helping you move forward, and also the departed soul move forward, because you have held them back, there is some kind of attachment that is still there. So in fact I would want to read this part out to you. It's a paragraph, okay, so bear with me. I just want you to hear this. Like, what do you guys think about this? It is possible that there is a certain residual element of your, say, whoever has passed away, that is left behind in his or her clothes, and they may cause some things. What are those some things? I don't know, but there is no need to play into it. Okay, chill, guys. All these things were taken care of in India by various customs that were built into the culture. People accepted these things as a normal happening. When a person died, all the clothes that were closely in touch with that person's body were burned. They were never kept. The clothes that the person occasionally wore were given only to blood relative, no one else. And even in such instance, the clothes were not worn for the first year. These things were done because a certain amount of our energy gets into whatever we are in touch with. If you give it certain kind of opportunity, these clothes will start behaving funnily. Okay then. So I leave it there. I mean, I still didn't really understand, like, what are you, like, are you supposed to burn them, or are you supposed to give it away because someone else will be using it? But overall, what I've understood is that you who's close to that person should not cling on to these objects. And the essence is simple: don't try to continue your relationship through what they have left behind. What ideally you should do is that, yes, maybe you keep those things around you, you take your time to move on, but the graceful way of doing it is that you cherish what was beautiful when they were here, but don't cling in a way that makes it harder to let go for you and for them. And yeah, I think just reading this section for me, I was just like, I have a very different way of looking at holding on. Touch wood, I haven't lost anyone dear to me that much. But I don't know, even though I have learned this, I don't know when that actually happens, will I be able to let the objects go? Yeah, but that has intrigued me enough to read more about it. But okay, just to be safe, if someone passes away and you have their clothes, you keep it, but don't wear it. Don't keep it for too long. Have your time with it, and then what are you supposed to do? I gotta find that out. The final section of the video, and here I am going to talk about um, the after death rituals. I'm not going to say what to do, what not to do. Like something I had just not given too much thought to. So it came as information to me, so I thought I'm going to share. I always thought that doing after death rituals is something very cultural, something we do because we are told to do. But when I read that section in the book, it again kind of gave me more clarity and more perspective to why we do this. It says that just like we have responsibilities for our living, we also have the responsibility towards the dead. We need to ensure that the departure of the dead happens in a seamless, in a proper manner, because someone does not die overnight. It is a process that happens, and through that process you are supposed to facilitate it to happen the right way, so that the person actually goes in peace. Because when someone leaves, the relationship between two people, or between them and other people, it doesn't just switch off. Okay, there are still memories, there are emotions, there are attachments, that everything that we have built with them. And that is where the concept of runanubandha comes in. It means the bond, the physical bond that we have formed with them doesn't disappear overnight. So these rituals were not just about religion or tradition. They are designed as a way to slowly dissolve that bond. Not forcefully, but in a way that allows both sides to move on. So when I looked at it like that, it didn't feel like ritual for the sake of rituals anymore. It just felt a structured way of dealing with something we otherwise don't know how to process. So that has kind of given me a push of really understanding the rituals of maybe when birth happens, when death happens. On a surface level, I understand why we do this, right? But if you really get into it, like what is the reason behind it, it just gives you such a huge perspective shift. Alright, with that we have reached the end of this video. I really don't know if I've done justice to the learning that I've had through this book, but I would say that you would have to read this book 3-4 times to really get it programmed into your streams and understand the concept through and through. I definitely know I will revisit this book back when I am probably in a juncture when I have to again revisit the concept of death and what it is about. But I am in a good space that I'm comfortable with the thought of not just death, the fear of how will I die, what will happen when my close ones are not there, and how to deal with it. But I think nothing prepares you for the pain and the feeling comes with just the thought of someone passing away, or just you passing away. You know how many times have I cried just thinking that if I pass away, how people who love me are just going to be shattered. Like, oh my god, so self-obsessed. Take it light. We need to stay detached. By detached, I don't mean that you care less. By detached, I mean that just accept things the way they are and be very, very aware about the fact that everything is temporary, nothing is permanent, and that will just ease up your life even more. So, alright, if you have made it till here, congratulations. Thank you for being here. And I'm yet to think what should be my next video about. So, let that be a surprise for both of us. So, thank you again. Bye, take care, and be safe. Work well, do well, work out, eat well, sleep well. Bye.